Good morning, all. My dear, colleagues, fellow colleagues, professors from Agronomy Department, ENU, and my dear students. Now I'll be presenting climate resilience and millets. So actually, we know millets are having climate resilience nature. So millets are being called by several names like miracle crops, nutri cereals, so because of their multifaceted nature, so we actually have nine millets under nine crops under millets. So two millets are we call as major millets, and even even come under major millets. So sorghum, millet based on the area of cultivation, they are classified as major. They contribute to around millet area, whereas millets like foxtail, kodo, little proso, barnyard, and the brown top millet contribute around 10% of the millets area. So earlier, these, they were occupying the 40% towards the total food grain basket. So after green revolution, the area of these millets are drastically down. So the area is so that is why they at present they contribute around 6% to the total food grain basket. So they are called as climate smart crops and farmers friendly because these crops are least affected by biotic factors like pests and disease. So the chance scope of the chemical pesticides, so fungicides, they are very, they are mostly called as farmers friendly crops, and they can withstand climate vagaries from 0 meter mean sea level to and 2000 meter above mean sea level. We can find the crops, for example finger millet. We can find this crop at 0 meter mean sea level, like for example Pondicherry towards the Uttarakhand area where we 200 meter above mean sea level. That is why we call this climate smart crops, because they withstand climate vagaries and climate resilience nature high level, and they are also having efficient fertilizer when we compare with other cereals, and C4 photorespiratory physics. They are C4 plants that utilize the inputs very efficient, and also they are environment friendly, and that is why they are having high water efficiency and low environment. So even if we give the more inputs like nutrients or water, those crops cannot withstand. They can withstand to little, water loss. If you give more water, they will grow robust and they will launch. So that is feature of these millets, and they are also equally less responsive input management. The cultivars, we have cultivars in almost all millets, and they yield around 30 to 50% more than what the are cultivating the local cultivars. So they are having the scope of increasing yield to 30%, and these millets have multiple uses in, like as a feed. Is there? They are also a source of good fodder. Millets. So and their industrial raw materials are using as industrial for bioethanol production. So that is why these millets are having multi nature, and we call them as resource smart and climate smart crops. So we find these millets throughout our states. Means almost at least one crop in one state. So finger millet were cultivated in larger part of our country, whereas little millet is towards middle and southern part, whereas Koda millet is middle again Madhya Pradesh or Maharashtra, even Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, the one special feature is it all millets are grown in Tamil Nadu. So that is the beauty of your state. And then millet. So in the northeastern parts like Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, we have the barnyard millet, and also in patches in southern states, foxtail millet, middle, especially Andhra Pradesh and the Karnataka, where we can find very good crop of foxtail millet. Proso millet, Bihar, we have a good scope for foxtail millet extension. Then millet again southern states. So these are the major growing states of these millets. In actually. The origin is Asia and Africa, and even in in some part of America also we can find these millets. So also called as nutri cereals. So now recently, in last called as Sri Anna. So because of their special nature, they're having no gluten free. So millets are called gluten free, low fat, no cholesterol only. So these are all having the benefits. The millets are benefits of all these qualities. So the rich in anti, then health, heart also BP even also because of the nutrient nature releasing carbohydrate. That is why these millets are preferred foods for diabetic patients. So how to enhance the farm? Usually, generally, we have to increase the productivity. The product is far below than the potential yield. So there is a scope of increasing yield three times. So then by reducing the cost of production. So it is very in millets also cost of production is getting increased due to escalation and also the area is diverted towards the other purpose. So that is why we have to reduce the cost of production by going for suitable mechanization. So there are some important agronomy management practices by increasing the marketing opportunities. We say area extension, but the marketing opportunity is getting reduced. So that is the area where we have to look for. Then sustainable value chain through group approach, FPOs, especially farmers producer organizations. There are a number of FPOs, but active FPO is very less. So these are the areas where we have to concentrate for enhancing the farmers' income. So these are the challenges. Main challenge in agriculture is fragmented holdings, a very less area. So we have 1.15 hectare per capita availability. It's going to reduce to 0.35. This is the report. So that is why these are the small holdings, and these are being grown by small and marginal farmers, depleting groundwater table, increasing cost of production has already told less external inputs. Since these are grown by small and marginal farmers, they are not able to purchase the quality inputs. So that is why less external inputs, low farm income. So because of their low yield ability, so we are not able to get the enough farm income, then increasing environment pollution. These are the challenges in Indian agriculture. So I already told fragmented holdings, lack of capital investment, and seasonal income and employment. So millet farmers, they get employment only in the particular kharif or summer season. So their employment is restricted. Then risk of crop failures. Since we are growing these crops under dryland situations are depending on the rainfall or kharif or rabi. So the risk of crop failure is more than single commodity farming. We only restrict to single commodity. We don't go for integrated approach. And then horizontal expansion is is having very limited scope because we know the recent deterioration of the resource. But these are the current status where we are today. Then if we look at the review of area production and millets, so before green revolution the area was little there was good area was pretty good, and then after the green revolution the area was getting reduced due to because of procurement provision in other crops, then enhancement in irrigated area. So that is why the area under millet was diverted to rice or so then the productivity, but though the millets got reduced by 56%, but the productivity has significantly increased. So we can say around 228% the productivity of these been rise because of adoption of new yielding varieties or hybrids in these, also the adoption of the good management practices. So these are the reason, and the area is almost, see, you can see the blue line. So almost 56% area reduction is there, but production level is almost maintained at a modest level. This is with our situation with regard to area production and productivity of millets in India. So with regard to different millets, India is having number one in the area and production of barnyard millet, finger millet, kodo, little millet. So these crops are actually India is origin. So that is why the India has topped in these crops in area and production and even the productivity. And regarding Tamil Nadu is having the highest productivity of more than 2,000 per hectare. I mean 20 quintals per hectare. So it is really questionable because at research station we are getting around 16 quintals, but from as a state average, it is very escalation of this productivity has been notified in the center. Then why we have to promote the millets? So as I already told, climate resilient crops, they're adapted to smallholder production system, and more importantly, the millets are nutrient rich and mostly they're organically grown. That is why recently it is being attracted by not only urbanites and even the rural people are also started consuming these millets. And as I already told, nearly organic foods and eco-friendly crops. So whereas other crops, it is there is it's a very really eager to find the scope of extending the area under organically, organic cultivation. So millet products have multiple uses. They are having uses even the medicinal properties are also these millets products are having. Then they provide quality green or dry fodder. That is also very important in Karnataka. So we most of the farmers grow millets for fodder. If you don't believe, especially finger millet, they go for fodder. So that is that efficient and nutritious fodder we can expect only in millets. So it takes less water. If you compare with other crops, they require only 300 to 450 mm per season, the crop season. So that is why we can, whereas sugarcane and rice, they consume four times, 3 to 4 times water requirements. That is why we have to, give for these millets, and the lesser, and they take very less inputs, for example lesser fertilizer and other farm inputs, and the cost of production is also very less when compared to other major crops. Then there are crops of contingency measures. These millets are crops of contingency, because whenever we cannot grow any crops, there the choice of millets comes. So that is the nature of millets. They are more commonly called as contingency crops. And special characters, the irrigated, specially irrigated area under than 10%. So that indicates their suitability, more suitability for rain-fed agriculture, and they're very hardy for even in millets, kodo millet. Varagu, madam was telling, it's the most hardiest crop one can expect, hardiest crop. So that then they grow in adverse soil. Even the salinity, slight acidity and alkalinity also they can sustain. They can withstand both, and the waterlogging also to some extent they can withstand the waterlogging, salinity, and acidity, especially finger millet. So there, and one more important agronomical advantage is they're of shortest duration. So in 70 days, 65 to 70 days, we can expect millet. For example, baragu. What do you call baragu? Madam was telling that is the shortest crop. You're like almost like a green gram. 60 days, 60, 65 days. So that is where the selection of these particular millets in cropping system. So we can, they are the crops for suitable for cropping system. Then they're excellent for soil preservation due to their root network. So that is one, and shorter duration. They provide food during lean months to track. Most of the tribal people in hilly region, they depend on these millets because they can grow in rain-fed region and with less inputs. And these the major points for increasing how to enhance the productivity. These crops also response to give response to the treatment. That is the area is free crops, but nowadays due to change in climate scenario or some other reasons, we also find many pests and diseases. Example, shoot fly. In the initial growth, the shoot fly incidence is very high, especially in brown top millet, little millet. The incidence is very high. So there we can also control this pest through organically also. Then disease, blast, blight, rust. also we can expect in millets. And there are many technologies have come. Guni method from our eclipse station, Guni square planting, almost like little millet also we can go for transplanting, barnyard millet, and even finger millet square method. It's though it is simple, but the productivity we can enhance to double or even three times also we can enhance just by going for this pit planting along with spot application of farm-made manures. This is one technology. And use of liquid biofertilizers, and nowadays we don't recommend the solid biofertilizer due to that duration or some other reasons. Liquid consortia, biofertilizer consortia or some other growth promoters we can recommend. Then conservation agriculture, since these are grown under rainfed system, the moisture conservation is very important. These also require moisture during the very critical stages. For example, at germination, the soil moisture is must for millets, because if you have seen, you can understand the millet seeds are very, you know, like coaty, like hard. So that is why they require soil moisture at least for germination, and then at tiller production they require, and then the in a panicle initiation stage. These three stages are most important critical stages for moisture. So then mechanization. So in millets, one of the main drawback is now post harvesting, that is processing, and even the mechanization year more money is required for harvesting. So that mechanization, small scale mechanization, even combine harvesters are there. Impact of combine harvesters on millets is not studied, and because the small or fragmented holdings, the application of harvester is also questionable. So these are the areas. Agronomically, we can see these pictures where we have conducted this experiment for Guni. In Kannada, we call Guni or square planting. And one of the experiment was conducted at Karaikal, where Tamil Nadu, where the plant geometry, that is spacing along with the number of seedlings and days for transplanting was studied. And whenever we go for this two seedlings, at 30, 1 feet by 1 feet, it has given very good yield. Almost three times the yield was, recorded. Then liquid. I'm just explaining few experiments that conducted at ECRIP level. So liquid consortia also we conducted on different millets, and there is a possibility to reduce inorganic fertilizer requirement to almost 30% if you go for liquid consortia. This was the result, and there was substantial improvement in the by this microbial population when we gone for this liquid consortia. And we are also conducting the experiment on nano fertilizers, nano DAP, nano urea, nano zinc also, but we have not studied the impact of these on quality parameters and also environmental safety. So that is why we are still continuing. Then sensor based irrigation system, here also when the sensor based irrigation, particularly for finger millet, is a possibility of saving the water to an extent of 43% saving in water can be achieved. And then the in situ moisture conservation in finger millet along with the pigeon pea in ratio. So in between the two rows of pigeon pea, there is a conservation for that. There's a lot of improvement in the whole system productivity. So farmer who are have practicing the government should give incentives, that then only the spread of the area will be more. Then we have a number of varieties released from our ECRIP project coordinating unit in almost all millets. We almost every year we are releasing varieties. They are suitable for drought. They're having drought tolerance, higher productivity, and few crops we have achieved lodging resistance. So these are some of the varieties in different millets. So soil moisture conservations. So at soil depth, if we go for deep, so Vanati also presented by going for tillage practices or disc flow, there is a benefit, and time and precision of doing operations is very important in agronomy, especially sowing time. Just be makes a lot of difference. So that is where we have to give importance. Then plant population, maintaining optimum plant population is very important. So in millets, around 2 to 4 lakh. per hectare we can have the plant population. And again, the plant population or plant geometry or spacing, again, it depends on the season and the crop and also the varieties. And also the based on soil fertility also, we have to modify the this treatments. Then bioinoculants, use of bioinoculants is also having scope in millets. Then weed-free environment. So up to 30 days for few millets, that has given very good result with respect to yield. Then cropping and fertility management also, so we have to go for the recommended level of fertilizer. And we cannot always go for what is that, just a standard recommendation everywhere. So every and you can see the this figure. So removal of the nutrient from the soil is where the addition is less, so that is why mining of nutrients from soil takes place. The gap between removal and addition is an enlarging. And every 10 years, one deficiency of micronutrients were coming across. So you can see these are the major approaches. So we have to go for INM, and more importantly, giving more importance for organic sources is very important from the point of maintaining soil fertility. Then potassium management. I really astonished. There is no potassium recommendation for little millet, but we have recommended, for 20 kg, around 20 kg per hectare is required for even millets. So earlier there was enough potassium in soil, but nowadays the potassium deficiency is also noticed. That is why even millets do respond for potassium since they are grown under dryland situation. So important the potassium and disadvantage. So we cannot generally recommend the fertilizer. So that is not with this thing spatio temporal, it is there across the field. So yeah, and if you go for this kind of general fertilizer recommendation, it reduce the nutrient use efficiency, moreover it increase the cost of production. So that is where we have to go for this site specific nutrient management. So there are other important and sensor based nutrient management. There are some important new niche areas have come. So if you go for site specific nutrient management in millets, definitely there is enhancement of yield and reduce the cost of production, and also more importantly, nutrient efficiency is enhanced. And the mechanization also plays very important role nowadays. The reapers have come, reaper come binders have come, and also combined harvester. So we have to employ this equipments to harvest the crop to reduce the cost of production. And intercropping systems, so intercropping systems have to be followed. So we have different intercropping systems followed in different. These are some of the prominent systems found across the states. And so important cropping systems: foxtail millet with red gram, and then ragi finger millet with red gram, black gram. Usually the cereals along with pulses are the major cropping system being grown. And Niger, Amaranth. So Niger is grown as a mixed crop, sprinkler crop, what we call. So these are all being followed in different parts, and even in Uttarakhand also they are followed. So physiologically also these millets have advantages. They can withstand little high temperature also. There are few millets they're available. And the I already told there are C4 species, hence they utilize the nutrient or input very quickly. So and the drought stress stage, it depends on the stage of. So if the drought is we can expect 109 reduction in yield. Covering for 18 days, the 6%. So depending on the stage of the crop, drought also affect. So these are the prominent technologies, high yielding varieties, improved practices, and timely management of the practice is very important. Intercropping, millet-based intercropping systems, then primary processing and value addition. This is the area where we have to give more concentration. Then mechanization and biofortified varieties are available. Now the research is going on, and few crops the biofortified cultivars are available. For example, in little millet, finger millet, and pearl millet. It is available. And we conduct the whatever the technologies are developed, we have to among farmers. So our frontline demonstration, we concentrate on these thematic areas, introduction of recently. Again, here also we have to give more concentration for organic source of nutrients. That is the basic theme of NFS. From ICR, they are only given the this theme. Then promotion of INM, then timely sowing and timely operations, then weed management, need based. Only it cross the economic threshold level, then only we have to go for the management through need-based plant protection measures, harvesting by mechanical means, then in the based intercropping system, then formation of farmers groups and FPOs. These are the thematic areas we have to work under FLD. So when we conducted survey to know the yield at farmers level and at research level, there is around 30 to 40% yield gap is there in case of millets. So there is a scope for enhancing the agronomical advantage already explained. They're having the best crops for farmers, alternative for farmers have to achieve the triple objectives of versatility, sustainability, ability. And the storage life of grain, they are called as famine grain. Processing, we can keep it for 10 years without any change in the quality. Once it is processed, it is very difficult to keep the millets. So that is the important drawback. Then these are the climate resilient traits of small millets. I already told there. Then we can grow from high altitude to a low altitude. Then they can adapt it for poor soil. All types of soils are suitable except drainage must for any soil. So they can be grown in all types of soils, a wide altitude range, and moderately resistant to drought, heat stress, and humidity. And they're having shortest duration when we compare with other cereals. Then Kodo millet, I told you, it is highly resistant to drought. And these are the distinct features and the scope, yield, harvest index, total biomass, productive tillers, lodging. Lodging is the major drawback in millets, then seed shattering and seeds. These are the areas there is a scope for enhancement. So millets are good for the farmers. And millets are good for consumer also because they are nutritionally rich and good for the planet because they are friendly. So the chart is backward channel and forward. So we have to help the linking with the forward constraints. The productivity is all achieved, but only thing is modified genetically enhance the productivity. Seeds at the farmers less than the lesser of millet value added product. Then continue dirt demand at market preference, then lesser established market linkage and constraints trust areas. So workforce and higher wage future research trust area, animal power, small machineries we require most, then moisture stress due initial stages of the crop and expect the complete failure of the crop, then crop establishment, sustainable crop stand is a bigger problem. And management, that is nutrient management by going for integrated approach system, then improve efficiency, demand for organ. These are the future thrust areas we have to look for. So with this, my presentation, thank you.